Hi friends, it's Mr. Alex from Adams Memorial Library, and you guessed it, it's time for another installment of the Online Origami Club. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, this month is the start of the Lunar New Year, so we're going to be making Lunar New Year themed origami. Last time we made a tiger, and this time we're going to be making a dragon bookmark, because dragons are also often seen as a part of the Lunar New Year. So be sure to stop here at the library to pick up your very own Online Origami Club kit, and remember, in this kit is going to be all sorts of paper of different colors and patterns that you can use to make the projects that I'm going to show you. So be sure to pick one up, I'll show you what we'll need, and we'll get started. In order to make our dragon bookmark, we are going to need just a few things. We'll need a practice sheet of paper to get really good at making our dragon bookmarks. We'll also need our Online Origami Club kit, and in here is going to be our final sheet of paper, as well as some scraps of paper to embellish our dragon or decorate it, and I'll show you what those look like later in the video. We're going to need a marker, crayon, or something else to decorate with, and normally the scissors would be optional for our origami project and we wouldn't use glue, but for this particular dragon bookmark, since decorating it is such a big part of the project, we are definitely going to want to have these as well. So go ahead and gather all of that up and we'll get started. In order to fold our dragon bookmark, the first thing we're going to do is make sure that our piece of paper is a square and fold it in half diagonally like this with the pattern side of our paper out, or the side that we want to show on our dragon. So I'm going to fold it like this. Then we want to take our project, and with this straight line of our triangle on the bottom, we are just going to roll up the rim of our project a little bit, and this is going to make our dragon's wings. So there's no right or wrong amount to roll this up, but just know that you don't want it to be too thin or too thick because that's going to affect how the rest of your project looks. Then we're going to take each side of our project, so this side here and this side here, and we are going to fold them up along the edge of our project. Now, there are a couple of guidelines that we can follow to make sure that we're folding our project correctly, like this. The first thing is when we fold our project up, this edge right here should line up with the backing of our project. And we should have a little bit of space right here at the top and down the middle. So we'll fold one side like this, like that, so just up. And then we'll fold the other side so that it identically matches. And this is important too. You do want to fold your two sides up the same amount. Otherwise, your dragon won't look quite right. So we'll crease all that off and have something that looks like this. So again, these sides right here match with the back of our project. And we have a little bit of space right here down the middle as well. So once we have this shape, we are then going to fold down again like this. So that we have a shape that looks something like this. So again, we're going to go from this here, fold one side down like this, and one side down like this. Now this here at the bottom, right here, is actually going to be the top of our dragon's head. So we're going to flip it over like this, and our folding is just about done. So now for our bookmark, we have at the bottom these two flaps that we can separate, and this is what you're going to put over the corner or the page of your book. We have our two wings, and we have the top of our dragon's head. So at this point, we're finished with our origami project. But as you can see, it doesn't look a whole lot like a dragon yet, and so that's where the cutting, gluing, and decorating come in. You're going to want to grab your pair of scissors and make a couple of cuts. The first cut that you're going to make is you're going to cut a rounded shape in the top of the project, maybe something a little bit like this, to create your dragon's horns. So you can cut something like this. And we'll take those scraps and put them off to the side. Then we're going to want to style our dragon's wings. So we're going to cut a semicircle out of each of them on the bottom. Something like that. And again, we can make additional cuts. We could even cut out of the top of our dragon's wings a little bit. It's entirely up to you. The biggest thing that you want to keep in mind as you're making these cuts is you don't want to cut anything that's holding your project together. So sort of keep an eye out for which folds are really important and keeping the project together. But otherwise, you can feel free to cut as you wish. Maybe design your dragon's wings like this to give it a little bit more shape. So at this point, we have our dragon, we have our dragon's horns, our dragon's wings, and it's time to add some features. So in your kit, you're going to see some yellow and white paper, and I recommend decorating your final project, but since we have this practice one in front of us, I'm going to show you how to decorate using that. So I cut a few basic shapes for our dragon's eyes, so we can get our glue stick and add the eyes to our dragon. Maybe something like this, and glue this one here. So we can create shapes like this for our dragon's eyes, take our marker to add the pupil, and glue those on to our project. We also have other features like our dragon's horns that we can add as well. The important thing to remember as you're cutting these is that each of your dragon's features are going to be headed in a different direction. So if you cut out the same shape, remember that you may have to flip it in order to make it look right on your dragon. So we're going to go ahead and glue on the rest of these, just like this. And once we have, it will be time to get out our marker and add a few other things. Just like that. Alrighty, so we have all of our features from our dragon cut out and glued onto our bookmark. We're just going to take our marker here, add some ridges for our dragon's nose by drawing some triangles like that, and at the very end of the nose, our dragon's nostrils. And we should have something that looks like this. I'll show you what my final project looks like at the end of the video. Well, friends, I took what we learned from our practice dragon and took my final sheet of paper out of my Online Origami Club kit to make this dragon here. I think it turned out pretty ferocious. Now, keep in mind that these designs and patterns that I cut out of our scrap paper to decorate my dragon with are the ones that I liked and found online, but maybe there's something different that you'd like to do. So feel free to get creative and design your very own dragon. Also, don't forget that I'd like to see how your dragon turns out. So be sure to send those pictures on over to us at kids@adamslib.org, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for updates not only about the Online Origami Club, but everything else that we're doing here at the library. And as always, happy crafting, everybody.